a what do you call it, a potpourri holder. You know, like the little plastic balls that people throw in their underwear drawers. It's just a slightly more elegant version. So from Sèvres, and it was commissioned by, owned by, the original patron of the Sèvres porcelain manufactory, who was a woman, and she's actually the only woman who appears in both the Shady Ladies tour and the Nasty Women tour. She is probably the most famous royal mistress of all time, or called at least Madame de Pompadour. Right. Madame de Pompadour was the official mistress, because the French kings had official mistresses, of King Louis XV for 19 years, from 1745 to 1764, when she died. And she was then succeeded by the other most famous mistress of all time, which is Madame du Barry. As in Cole Porter's musical, Du Barry was a lady, etc., etc. Madame de Pompadour was famously beautiful, but she also was in her position for a lot of other reasons. And we know that, I think we can say that objectively, because we know all about the king's sex life. You know, if you think the king's sex life was diplomatically important, so diplomats were bribing his servants to find out what was going on in his bedroom. So we have lots of information, and we know that their sex life was a bust. Madame de Pompadour had some kind of physical condition, some secretion thing, could easily be solved with 2 weeks of antibiotics, I imagine, but of course they didn't have them. So basically they stopped having sex very early in their relationship, and yet she remained his official mistress for 19 years, so clearly he valued her for other reasons. She was something of an artiste. I think he liked that. She was a singer, she was an actress. I think he could go to her apartment and the cool people would be there instead of the boring old courtiers. But also, he valued her advice. She advised him on matters of war and peace. There was a lengthy time period in which Louis XV ruled without a prime minister. And I think basically that's because he had a prime minister, which was Madame de Pompadour. But she also was very important as a patron of the arts. And I know we think of that as maybe a ladylike activity, but she was a patron of the arts on the national scale, so that she would patronize things like the new manufacturing of porcelain, or something like that. So, and you know, really, ultimately, women like her and Madame du Barry, and then later Marie Antoinette, were the original patronesses, or patrons, of the luxury goods industry, which is still what France is known for today. So, really quite an important thing to do. And this is just one little piece of it.